Hello, everyone. Welcome to a new episode of Matthew Sports Talk. As you can see, once again, I am in my living room, not my bedroom, with all my stuff. I'm sorry. Lots of stuff going on right now. We got the NLCS. We got the Padres and the Phillies going on. I am monitoring the NBA opening night because I'm playing fantasy basketball for the first time. It's one of those decisions that you make when you're partially drunk and you've only done football and baseball before. But you know what? Hey, you gotta go for it. So, I am going to actually, before I get into anything that has happened today, I'm going to share with you guys a clip about the Vikings-Dolphins game. I was at the Surly watch party at Surly Brewing, and also, so I did a little take on it after the game, and then the second clip, once you guys watch that, I'll let you guys see that, and then I'll let you guys know about that. So I'm going to pause right here just so that we get a good stopping point, just a good stopping point. By the way, Bryce Harper just hit a home run, so the Phillies up 1-0 on the Padres in the top of the fourth of the NLCS Game 1. So, pause for a quick second.
Safe space for us, okay? So if you hate us or if you hate us for Kirk, that's absolutely okay because you're enjoying the nice products of Surly Brewing Company, so that's all good. We're okay with that. What's up, man?
Hey, I'm Matthew. So I would like to thank the Vikings today for not giving me a heart attack. They've given me a heart attack the past 2 weeks against the Saints and the Bears. I mean, yes, it was a one-score game, but they were ahead for the most part, so my heart rate was kept low. Everyone's talked about the defense. I want to talk about the offense. Well, yes, they have put up points on the board. I feel like I haven't seen this offense click as I would expect it to with Kevin O'Connell at the helm.
Yep.
I'm waiting for, Jefferson to have a big game, Cook to have a big game. So, yeah, I'm waiting to see that happen, and hopefully it happens soon. But it was a good win today, and, it's 5-1, so I'll take it. So
I think there's a lot more to come, and I think that they're going to shore up both offense and defense this week. Right. I think the bye week becomes important because this team, I'm with you. The offense, I think, scratched the surface. Now, my question is, how much does O'Connell think Kirk can do to what O'Connell wants to accomplish? But that being said, it's clear, like through the Chicago game, that there was more and more and more. So, yes, I think we are seeing, basically in O'Connell's mind, the bare minimum thus far to get wins of what he can potentially do. Right. I think you're right.
And at the same time, I think Kevin O'Connell being an offensive-minded coordinator has been conservative a lot with some of his play calls. I'm waiting for him to just let one rip. I'm waiting for him to let Cousins rip one to Jefferson or, Thielen or someone. But I do see progress, and like I said, I'll take 5-1 because if this was last year with Mike Zimmer, we'd probably be 1-5.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Exactly right. Good stuff, man. Thank you very
Sir.
much.
That Surly sweet experience here. So we will give away, pull out those little raffle ticket stubs. All right, so here's your winner. It is 984206. 984.
You got it?
206. Come on up and see my main man Ross here. I think we have
Justin
a winner.
Jefferson's got it.
JJ has it, and he is juiced
You know
right
what?
now.
They couldn't double cover you
We
today.
might even need a gritty from this guy at this point. I don't know if
let's
we'll
see
get
the
one
gritty.
here. No,
Do
I don't need to put him on the
gritty.
spot. I don't need to put him on the spot.
There it is.
There it is.
We got a gritty.
It worked. Incredible. So congratulations. Hey, we'll give away also the giant.
Okay, so yeah, as you guys have seen, I won not one, but 2 sweet tickets to the Vikings-Cardinals game in 12 days at US Bank Stadium. So I'll definitely be making a live video from there, showing off the experience. I mean, my God, this has probably been the best week of my life, period, exclamation point, stop. Honestly, it has. I mean, I never really considered myself to be a religious person, but my God, Literally, God is looking down on me right now. Oh, by the way, I'm having some Truly strawberry lemonade. Not a sponsor, but just saying. Because I feel good today, you know? I was at Target Center earlier today helping them get ready for season opener. Timberwolves season opener is tomorrow. So, I might do a post-game, live reaction for you. We'll see how it goes. But yeah. So, anyway. We need to talk football. So, yeah, as you guys probably saw in that Score North post-game reaction, the Vikings did pretty good. And I think, their defense, despite giving up, I think Teddy was in for most of the game. I think he got like 300 something yards. I could probably look it up. Good enough on Barry for now. Yeah, Teddy threw for 329 yards and 2 touchdowns. But, hey, our defense played amazingly. I mean, yes, Tyreek Hill did have 177 receiving yards, but he didn't have a touchdown. And we also picked off Teddy twice. So, and let me just say this. Our punter, I forget his name. I think his last name is Wright. Oh my God, does he have a cannon for a leg? He literally punted a ball. I can't remember what the official distance is, but it was like almost 80 yards. That's just insanity. He has a freaking cannon for a leg. So, yeah. I mean, still, yes, I realize we probably are the worst 5-1 team in NFL history, but I don't think anyone cares right now. And especially since, I'll get to it in a little bit, but there are so many NFC teams that people thought would be good this season that don't look good. Rams, Buccaneers, 49ers, Packers. I will get to the Packers in a second. Okay, so yeah, good win for the Vikings. We're at 5-1. Bye week next week, so and then 12 days, baby. I'll be at US Bank Stadium in the Surly Suite. Oh, it's gonna be such a good time. My friend Liam will also be joining us, so I'll definitely let you guys hear from him as well. So, I'm sorry, I'm a little bit congested. It's getting cold up here in Minnesota, so. Alright. First game I want to talk about, Bills Chiefs. So, yes, the Bills won. Yes, Mahomes threw 2 interceptions. But you know what? Chiefs, overall, they're really only one piece away from being pretty much level with the Buffalo Bills. And I'll just say 3 words. Or actually, well, it's a name, but it's composed of 3 words. Odell Beckham Jr. If that guy wants another Super Bowl ring, he should go to Kansas City. Because that's all that the Chiefs need. Yes, Juju Smith-Schuster did have a pretty good game. And so did Travis Kelce. He had a decent game. But what they are lacking, if Juju is going to try to insert himself as the number 1, they're lacking a solid number 2. It ain't MVS, Marquez Valdes-Scantling. It ain't him. It ain't Mecole Hardman. It ain't any of the other slew of wide receivers that is on the Chiefs roster that I can't name right now. But I know they probably been gotten thrown to this season. They need a true number 2 to distract them from what would be their number 1 in Juju Smith-Schuster. And OBJ can definitely bring that. Now, they can work on some stuff and maybe not need to sign OBJ. But I'm telling you, if OBJ signs with the Kansas City Chiefs, they will be going to the Super Bowl. And I will bet money on it because He adds another depth at the wide receiver position. Then the Bills would have to cover not only Travis Kelce, not only Juju Smith-Schuster, but if they're doing a 3 or 4 piece, they would have to cover OBJ as well. You can't leave one of those 3 guys wide open. Otherwise, you will get burned. So, Kansas City Chiefs, if you hear me, sign Odell Beckham Jr. Sign him. Sign him and you will get to the Super Bowl. Okay? So, yeah. Eagles Cowboys. I think I'll set this up here for now. Oh my god. Excuse me, guys. 1 second. Okay, guys. I'm back. Sorry about that. I had to clear my sinuses. Okay. So, yeah. Eagles and Cowboys. Eagles win. Not that surprising. Cooper Rush throwing, I think, 3 interceptions. Not that surprising. My only question is, the Cowboys came back in this game. They were down 20-3 at the half, and they came back and lost the game 26-17. Now, if Dak Prescott was anything close to 100%, why wasn't he playing? I mean, I swear to fucking God. Because the enormous shift that happened, now Eagles are 6-0, Cowboys are 4-2. And right in between them is the Giants, who are 5-1, which I'll talk about in a second. But if Cowboys win that game, they're both 5-1. There's a 3-way tie at 5-1 between them, the Giants, and the Cowboys, or Eagles, Giants, Cowboys. And they said Dak Prescott warmed up. He had warm-ups before the game. So, if he was anywhere close to 100%, why couldn't he play? Sorry. Interesting stuff happening with the Phillies and Padres game. So, yeah, if Dak Prescott was anywhere close to 100%, why wasn't he playing? If he played, they could have won. So, moving on. So yeah. A, how are the Jets this good? And B, how are the Packers this bad? Let me start with the latter. How are the Packers this bad? I'll tell you why. And I tweeted this to Dan Orlovsky when I was watching Get Up yesterday morning. The Packers' problem isn't schematics. It's their personnel. Now, granted, they are making play calls where they assume they got a guy like Devontae Adams catching balls, which they don't. But at the same time, there are players. I mean, Randall Cobb is not a scrub. Sammy Watkins, if he played once, isn't a scrub. Allen Lazard isn't a scrub. You think one of those guys could elevate their game? I mean, not Cobb because he's old. And maybe not Watkins. But Allen Lazard has been playing like he is the number one. You think one of those guys can elevate their game to resemble being the number one guy? Well, they clearly haven't. So, but like I said before, if Odell Beckham Jr. is serious about getting another Super Bowl ring, he should go to Kansas City. And definitely not Green Bay. He will be a distraction there. And honest to God, I don't think Aaron Rodgers would want him. Because of the fact that he would be, he would be the shiny new toy in Green Bay. And he would be like, everybody would be like looking at the Aaron Rodgers toy and be like, oh, that toy's old and we paid too much for him. Look at this brand new toy. So yeah, I don't think OBJ will end up in Green Bay. Oh, and then also, their defense, clearly not top 10 unit, even though they were supposed to be. They're clearly not. They cannot stop the run. And their O-line wasn't doing a good job against the Jets' defense. Pass rush, or just, God, I've never seen, I saw a little bit of the highlights. The Jets' defense was putting on a clinic for how to get at Aaron Rodgers on Sunday. So yeah, Packers dropped a lot in my power rankings. I'll kind of go over. I'm not going to go over each ranking. I'll just let you know who went up big and who dropped. Yeah, Packers dropped a lot. The Jets dropped. I mean, not. The Packers dropped a lot. The Jets went up big. I'll let you guys know later. But anyway, Giants and Ravens. Giants are 5-1 after 6 weeks. Who would have thought? No one. And the Ravens, I have a little piece coming up later saying who is going to win each division. I'll talk about them later, but the Ravens are a conundrum. Oh yeah, and next time your point, freaking Tom Brady, the guy who I believe should have stayed retired, is now chewing out his offensive line for not doing their jobs. And he was also at a wedding Friday night of Robert Kraft, the owner of the New England Patriots. And he also flew back and he did not participate in team activities with the Buccaneers on Saturday. And then you go chew out your offensive line. I'm sorry, man. You lost to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Okay? There are things. Now, granted. Yes, there are things the offensive line could have done better. But it's a team game, okay? And Brady had, I don't know how many incompletes, but he had a lot. And it's clearly evident to me now that Tom Brady's main priority isn't football anymore. I mean, he had the 11-day absence in August during training camp, and now he missed team activities a day before a game because of a wedding. I respect Tom Brady, but it's like you cannot chew out your own teammates for not doing their jobs when, had you been participating in team activities a day before a home game, not a home game, a day before a game, you might have established, rapport with them. So, this is not a good look for Brady, and personally, I think this is, the end of his career as we know it. I mean, the Buccaneers would probably make the playoffs because, the NFC South is atrocious. But, they're not going to do anything after that. They're not going to win a playoff game or anything like that. So, moving on. Oh, yeah. 49ers lost the Falcons. Like I said, we thought at the beginning of the season that it was either going to be the 49ers or the Rams to win the NFC West. And they're both 3-3, and the Rams look like the shell of themselves that won the Super Bowl last year. And the 49ers, they look like a shell of themselves going to the NFC title game last year. And at the same time, they both are the same. Except for, the Rams didn't lose Andrew Whitworth, who retired in their O-line, and they did no OBJ. The 49ers, they started the year with Trey Lance, but then they lost him to season-ending injury, so they put Jimmy Garoppolo back in. So I'm baffled. I am really, truly baffled as to why both the 49ers and Rams are this bad. So, all right, and the final talking point for today. Why does Russell Wilson suck? He played pretty good for the first half of the Monday night game last night. But then he threw, I'm trying to remember the stat line. I can't remember. I think it was like 3 for 10 or something like that. He threw for 15 yards in the second half and overtime combined last night. What is going on with Russell Wilson? Now I did talk about in the last episode how I thought he was a fraud. At this point, he's just, I don't know. Yes, he's a fraud, But I mean, I just don't get it. He's shown, like in the first half of last night game, he's shown he can still play like his old self. But honest to God, he just looks terrible. And I feel bad for Broncos fans. You have to pay to watch that shit. Like, I don't get it. I mean, and at the same time, I do think, what's his freaking Nathaniel Hackett, I think, is completely the wrong coach for the Denver Broncos. But at the same time, I don't think they're going to get rid of him in year one. They're probably going to give him 1 year, maybe even 2 years. But I'm saying, if the Denver Broncos, not even if they miss the playoffs, well, no, if they miss the playoffs, but if they end at like 7-10 or below, Nathaniel Hackett needs to go for the better of the team. He needs to go if the Broncos end 7-10 or worse, because that is an absolute fail. If they end anywhere close to 500, 8-9 or 9-8, then, call the season a partial failure. If they end 7-10 or less, the season's a complete failure. So, okay, so now let us talk about who I believe. Sorry, can you hear me? Testing. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Let us talk about who I think is going to win each division now. Make it easy for you. NFC North, Minnesota Vikings. I'm sorry. If somebody thinks that the Green Bay Packers, who are now 2 games behind, have a chance of catching the Vikings, you need to understand math. The Vikings would have to lose 2 games in a row, and the Packers would have to win 3 games in a row to take the lead. It ain't going to happen. Even though the Vikings do have a harder schedule going forward than the Packers do, there's nowhere in the schedule I see the Vikings losing more than 2 games in a row. I do not. So, I think the Vikings pretty much have the NFC North locked by now. The NFC South, I'll still say the Buccaneers. If the Saints figure out their shit, then they have a chance. But I'll also say this. Do not sleep on the Atlanta Falcons. With how bad that division is right now, the Atlanta Falcons have a decent shot. They are 3-3, just like the Buccaneers, and tied for first place of that division right now. So, do not sleep on the Falcons. NFC East, Eagles. I think the Giants are going to regress a little bit. They do have some games coming up. Not hard games, but they have some games where I think a team could potentially... And here's the thing. The Giants, it's easy. You just have to shut down the run game. If you can shut down the Giants' run game, shut down Saquon Barkley, force Daniel Jones to throw the ball, I think that's when they can make mistakes, and that's when you can beat them. And as far as the Cowboys go, the Eagles show the blueprint on how to handle Micah Parsons. You just have to know when he's on ball and off ball. If he's on ball, you run the ball. If he's off ball, you pass. That's all you have to do to handle Micah Parsons. That is the blueprint. I'm sorry, Cowboys fans. Micah Parsons got exposed. Micah Parsons was showed his Micah Parsons, what am I trying to say? I don't know what the fuck I'm trying to say. Micah Parsons, now people know how to handle Micah Parsons. So, and yeah, the Eagles, their game plan, granted, they did allow the Cowboys to come back in the second half, but that was primarily because Lane Johnson, their top offensive lineman, went out, so the Eagles had to plug a hole, and that hole, that was the only primary reason why the Cowboys got back into that game, I feel like, is because they were able to start to get pressure on Jalen Hurts. So, yeah, I think Eagles have the NFC East on lock. The NFC West, once again, another division that's just confounding right now. I don't feel good about it, but I'm going to say the 49ers. The Rams still have a shot. I believe the Cardinals still have a shot. Hell, I think the Seahawks with Geno Smith has a shot to win that division. That division right now, outside of maybe the AFC North, is a crapshoot. I think any team can win that division right now. Ask me again in like 3 or 4 weeks. Maybe then I'll revisit this topic. So that's the NFC. And then the AFC, the North. Once again, a division that we thought was going to be really, really good is a crapshoot right now. Sorry, I had to adjust. My foot was getting sleepy. I'll still say the Baltimore Ravens, just because I think they have the best quarterback right now. I will say this, though. It'd be interesting to see where Cleveland's at when Deshaun Watson is able to return. If Cleveland's at 500 or better when Deshaun Watson returns, I think Deshaun Watson can come in and just carry that team into the playoffs. Does that mean that I think they won the division? No. But if I think a team is contending for the playoffs, they are definitely contending for the division. So watch the Cleveland Browns. And then Cincinnati, if they start to really, really get going, they still have a shot. Sorry, Pittsburgh. I mean, you got lucky against Tampa Bay. I don't think you'll get lucky again. So, the AFC South. Okay, that's another division that's a crapshoot. I'm gonna say Tennessee. I think Tennessee can probably win that division, or any team can win that division with like a 9-8 or 10-7 record. That's how bad that division is. Keep an eye on the Colts. Jaguars, I feel like have been way too inconsistent, so I'd say Titans, then Colts for the AFC South. The AFC West, Chiefs. Even though the Chargers moved in for a tie, I don't see them, looking as good as the Chiefs. The Broncos, where they're at, and the Raiders are even worse than the Broncos. So, and then that leaves up with the East. That would probably go to Buffalo. I would say 90% chance that goes to Buffalo. The remaining 10%, I watch out for Miami, because when Tua gets healthy, they're hot. The Jets, okay, yes, the Jets are 4-2, but at the same time, I don't think they're going to be playing like that for the rest of the season, or for every game this season. So yeah, that's who I think is going to win every division. Let's go over my power rankings really, really quick. So, I mean, a little bit of juggling in the top 5. Minnesota, I moved up to number 3 and dropped Kansas City to number 4. The Giants are now number 5, up from number 10. The only new team in the top 10, I mean, Cincinnati's, I had to jump them because there's so many teams that dropped. And then same with the Rams. The Rams are now number 10, up from number 15. So yeah, biggest jump of the week. The Jets, they were number 26 last week. They're number 15 this week. We'll see how long they stay there. I don't think they're going to stay there long. Green Bay was at number 11 last week. They're now number 18, so they dropped significantly. Outside of that, not really any other big new number 32 team is Carolina. That's pretty self-evident. So yeah, that's kind of a summary of how the power rankings go. I think it's too early to make picks for this upcoming week, so I'm gonna hold off and I'll make my picks maybe Thursday or so. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and stay tuned on Thursday for my Week 7 NFL picks. Until then, see you guys.